The word pedagogy comes from Greek origins and literally translates to lead the child. So as new teachers, how do we lead the child? How do we teach? How do students learn? What is learning? Over the next few minutes, I hope to start answering some of these questions by briefly touching on the following subjects. Learning defined. Attention and motivation. Learning environment. Learning focus. Teacher characteristics. There are many different definitions for learning, and many different learning theories that go with the different definitions. We won't touch on those much here, but to kick us off, here's one of the definitions of learning that I particularly like. That reflective activity which enables the learner to draw upon previous experience to understand and evaluate the present so as to shape future actions and formulate new knowledge. So students are using knowledge they already have, their own schemas, to influence their grasp of new concepts. So how do we make sure they are learning properly? Let's start by getting their attention. According to Smith of the Children's Hospital of Colorado, the average attention span that a preschooler needs to be successful is about 15 minutes. Obviously this increases with age and the different year groups you are teaching, but the point is that's not a lot of time before attention starts to wander. So how do you maintain it? Here are some techniques to consider. Using the child's name. Interesting stimuli. Use different classroom resources that excite or surprise your students. For example, pictures, multimedia, musical sounds, fun activities, games, technology. Make it personal. For example, consider the backgrounds of your students. Involve them. Venti states that student involvement is a positive factor influencing cognitive development. Their paper on student involvement is aimed at first-year university students, but a lot of their suggestions apply to any age. That is, provide feedback, promote cooperative learning groups, advise and mentor, and be enthusiastic yourself. So what I've already started to allude to a bit here is that the classroom environment is very important to consider when we're trying to ensure that our students are focused on learning. An effective learning environment is one where a child can experience physical and emotional safety. Think about it. Are you able to focus on a task during the day if you are worrying about something else? It is important that children are not physically threatened, for example bullying, and are able to express themselves in your classroom without fear. This leads to respect. This includes respect for themselves, other students, the teacher, and vice versa. In his book, A Teacher's Survival Guide, Major also emphasises classroom culture, and he states that a good culture will promote a sense of belonging and purpose and inspire his students to inquire and achieve. He also addresses the importance of classroom rules, which should be clear, visible and positive, and your rationale for the rules should be clear to your students. Another important thing to consider in the learning environment as teachers is what our focus is on for our students' learning. Let's discuss two types of learning goals: performance goals and mastery goals. Performance goals, according to Dan and et al., correspond to the desire to outperform others or not to be outperformed by others. It's competitive. The student is more concerned with how they compare and avoiding failure. A better learning focus for your students are mastery goals, which Dan and et al. Correspond to the desire to progress and improve one's own abilities. It results in understanding and improvement or mastery of the task. So to finish up, what kind of characteristics should we display as new teachers that motivate and encourage our students to learn? Have high expectations of your students. Be caring and build positive relationships. Show interest and enthusiasm for your students and your subject. Encourage student responsibility and metacognition. Listen to your student ideas and concerns. Praise, don't criticise. Use your time effectively. Plan. And keep trying. Don't give up on your students. And don't forget to have fun.